Yes.
Okay, so y'all.
We got it.
How long is the little movie before the
I believe a minute and a half.
minute and a half? And then, well, you already worked out who's queuing in.
I'll just look.
Okay. We got 12:55, so we're going. This is about a 2.5 minutes in. Now we're going to look at it after that. We'll break in between.
Pretty close.
Thanks, Jeff.
A lot of condensation. There's a lot of mass here. Also tells you it's cold.
That's true.
my flu gal. Who starts it? They're coming around now. So we have a short one. They're just coming. Because then they're going to show the movie, right? Victorious 2? Okay. Right, somebody plays on one, correct? But somebody does. Okay.
Good afternoon. Welcome. By authorization of the Board of Governors of the Colorado State University System and the Colorado State University faculty, I declare the 123rd commencement of the Warner College of Natural Resources and the 138th commencement of Colorado State University to be in session. To begin our ceremony, please stand and join Mr. Eric Parizio in singing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you very much. Please be seated. Now I invite Marley Smith to give the CSU land acknowledgement. Marley.
Aloha. Aloha kako. My name is Marley Puanani Smith, and I am of the Aina, or the land. I am an extension of the Waikiki lineage rooted throughout the sovereign nation of Hawaii, that's independence was once recognized and acknowledged around the world. I am of the Santiago line that found their way to Polynesia during the era of the sugarcane migrations. And I am a product of colonization and land displacement through my Smith familial lineage that settled in the lands recognized today as Kansas and Colorado generations ago. Whether recognized or continually oppressed, my identity is what roots me to the Aina in which my kuleana, or responsibility, is bound and defined by. As one who is privileged to be a graduating senior here at Colorado State University and a future steward of the land, water, and air alike, it is with great honor and humility that I present the university's land acknowledgement statement to continue practicing and recognizing the impact it has on our knowledge extending from the past, present, and future conditions of the lands that connect us all. The mission statements of CSU and the Warner College of Natural Resources both recognize our unique history as a land-grant university. That mission is built on the principles that people with the privilege, ability, and motivation to earn a degree from a world-class university, regardless of their background, race, gender, social status, religion, or beliefs, deserve that opportunity. And that by providing this opportunity, we allow them to improve not simply their lives and those of their families, but through the ripples their lives will create, to also improve and strengthen our society as a whole. Because the first word in land-grant university is land, it is also incumbent on us to recognize where the Aina, or land, came from, and how that history permeates everything we do. As such, Colorado State University acknowledges with respect that the land we are on today is the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Ute nations and peoples. This was also a site of trade, gathering, and healing for numerous other Native tribes. We recognize the indigenous peoples as an original stewards of this land and all the relatives within it. As these words of acknowledgement are spoken and heard, the ties nations have to their traditional homelands are renewed and reaffirmed. CSU is founded as a land-grant institution, and we accept that our mission must encompass access to education and inclusion. And significantly, that our founding came at a dire cost to Native nations and peoples whose lands this university was built upon. This acknowledgement is the education and inclusion we must practice in recognizing our institutional history, responsibility, and commitment. Mahalo no me ke aloha aina.
Thank you, Marley. At this time, I'd like to introduce our platform party. As I introduce each person, I will ask them to rise and remain standing throughout the introductions. Please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. Rocky Coleman, Instructor, Department of Forest and Rangeland Stewardship. Dr. Rick Astor, Head, Department of Geosciences. Dr. John Moore, Head, Department of Ecosystem Science and Sustainability. Dr. Catherine Stoner, Head, Department of Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology. Dr. Linda Nagel, Head, Department of Forest and Rangeland Stewardship. Dr. Michael Manfredo, Head, Department of Human Dimensions of Natural Resources. Rob Novak, alumnus and Warner College Director of Communications. Griselda Landa Posas, graduating senior, Department of Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology. Marley Smith, graduating senior, Department of Forest and Rangeland Stewardship. Dr. Mary Stromberger, Dean and Vice Provost for Graduate Affairs. Dr. Kelly Long, Vice Provost for Undergraduate Affairs. Major John Parker, Assistant Professor of Military Science and Executive Officer, Colorado State University Army, ROTC. Dr. Joyce McConnell, President, Colorado State University. Dr. John Hayes, Dean, Warner College of Natural Resources. Let's recognize this group. Please also take a moment to help me recognize our soloist, Mr. Eric Parizio, and our quintet, the Big Thompson Brass. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Hayes to the podium.
Thanks so much, Dr. Conant. Before I begin my prepared remarks, let me just thank Marley for just an amazing land acknowledgement this morning. Thank you, Marley. President McConnell, members of the Platform Party, distinguished faculty members, esteemed guests, and of course, our awesome students graduating today. It is my honor and great pleasure to welcome you to the Warner College of Natural Resources commencement ceremony. I'm John Hayes, Dean of the Warner College of Natural Resources, and this is one of my favorite days of the year. I've had the pleasure of attending lots of commencement ceremonies over the past several years, and I never tire of it. I'm so proud to be standing in front of this amazing group of students who are moving along their journeys to become the next generation of natural resource leaders and who are about to become the most recent graduates of Colorado State University. In a little while, Griselda is going to be telling us a bit about her journey that she took to get to this point, but I wanted to recognize that every one of you graduating today traveled down your own unique path to arrive at CSU. And in many ways, you also took your own unique path for your degree program. Some of you came to us straight from high school. Others transferred in from a community college or from other universities. Some of you joined families whose parents and grandparents attended CSU. And some of you were the first in your families to attend college. Roughly a quarter of the students in Warner College are the first in their families to attend college. The journey taken by our first-generation students is a transformational one for themselves and often for their families and communities as well. I'd welcome our first-generation students and their families and friends and the first-generation faculty and our guests to stand and be recognized for that accomplishment. And some of you served in the military and came back to CSU after completing your service. We're proud that 1 out of every 16 students enrolled in Warner College are veterans, the highest proportion of veteran enrollment of any college at CSU. I would welcome all the veterans that are present today to stand so that we may recognize you and thank you for your service. And some of you joined us from just down the road, right here in Fort Collins or in Colorado, and others traveled from distant states or other countries to join us here and pursue your education at CSU. But each of you graduating today, regardless of the path that you took to get here, share one important thing in common. You are all about to take your place alongside a long line of leaders who've come through CSU and have gone on to shape the world and its natural resource professions. That line of leaders extends back 115 years, when the first classes in natural resources were taught at CSU during the dawn of America's conservation movement in 1904. 115 years ago. 115 years, that was a long time ago. Teddy Roosevelt was president. The Wright brothers had just flown the first airplane. Crayons, ice cream cones, and cotton candy were just been invented. Women didn't have the right to vote, and the total number of people that lived in Colorado was about the same as the population today in Fort Collins. An awful lot has changed since 1904. But one thing has not changed. Today, as was the case 115 years ago, CSU serves as a beacon to a dedicated group of students who come through Fort Collins to educate themselves about natural resources, to hone the skills that they will use for the rest of their lives, and to go on to make important impacts in the state, the country, and across the planet. Now, as you think about today, most of you probably think about this ceremony as graduation, about it as the end point in the undergraduate experience. But we actually don't call today's ceremony graduation, we call it commencement. A commencement's not a closure, it's not an end point, but a beginning and a start. And that really is what today is all about. Certainly, we're here to recognize the successes and all the tremendous achievements that our graduates made during their time at CSU. But more importantly, we're here to bear witness to the turning of a page and the commencement of a new chapter in life, to the opening of a door and to the opportunities that a college education enables. For the graduates that are here today, and many of the rest of you as well, today will forever serve as a marker in time. Today is one of those handful of very special moments that are defining points on life's timeline. From here on out, many of the things that happen to you will forever be described as having occurred before this day or after this day. And parts of this day will be forever engraved in your memory the ways that yesterday and tomorrow will not be. So it is indeed a special day. And for our graduates, for our students graduating today, you've worked long and hard to arrive at this point, but as you all well know, the path taken to arrive at this ceremony was not a solitary one. And there's a community that stood with our graduates as they traveled along that journey. So in closing my introductory remarks, there's three very important groups of people that have been especially instrumental in that journey that I'd like to recognize today. The first is your fellow students in Warner College who shared the journey with you, stressed over exams with you, learned beside you, and traveled through your courses and your adventures at the mountain campus, your time at geology field camp, and through all of your adventures at CSU. Many of those people moved from being strangers to being friends and colleagues, and indeed, some of those former strangers will be your closest friends and colleagues for the rest of your lives. Graduating students, I invite you to tell the friends sitting beside you thanks, and to give them a fist bump, a high five, or a hug. The second group I'd like to recognize is the amazing faculty at CSU, a world-class group of scientists and educators who've shared their knowledge and time to help our students achieve their potential. Would the faculty please stand so that we can recognize you and thank you for all you've done for our students. And the third group is perhaps the most important group. The parents and spouses, the friends and siblings, and the community of people who lent a helping hand when it was needed, who offered a pat on the back when good grades were received or projects were finished, who included our students on their cell phone payment plans, and who gave encouragement and hope on days when it was needed to smooth the path to the finish line. Would the family and friends of our graduates please stand so that we can recognize you and thank you for all that you have done. So at this time, I'd like to invite Associate Dean Rich Conant back to the podium to lead today's ceremony. Rich?
Thank you, John. At this time, I'd like to introduce Ms. Griselda Landaposos, graduating senior, Department of Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology, who will give our graduating senior address. Griselda.
Mamá, papá, los amo. Muchas gracias por todo el amor y apoyo que me han dado todos estos años. Este camino no ha sido fácil. I'm sure. Este camino no ha sido fácil, pero todos estos sacrificios los he hecho por mi amor a la tierra y a mi gente. Congratulations, Warner College of Natural Resources. Today we celebrate our achievements and courageously look forward to the future with hope. But today is also a day of reflection, a day to reflect on everything that we have overcome to be here today and to be inspired by that. I couldn't be more proud than to graduate from such a passionate and caring community full of dreamers. Throughout my years here, I know we have often joked about how we will probably never be rich, but what is more important to us than that is that we have the courage to live meaningful lives. We are passionate and committed to working towards creating a kinder and more sustainable world for everyone, despite the enormity of the environmental and social issues that we are faced with today. I'm inspired by all of you and by all the journeys we have taken to be here today. My college journey has not been an easy one. I stepped onto this path bright-eyed, ready to tackle any obstacles the world placed my way. I never could have imagined how much my optimism, courage, and strength would be tested. My first year in college was off to a rocky start. Being a first-generation student and coming from a community that was mostly migrants and refugees with so many different cultural backgrounds, college felt too homogenous and too elite. I struggled to connect with the students that I lived and went to school with. The communities I grew up with, although lacking economic resources, offered so much emotional nourishment that at first I struggled to find here. I was desperate to make a difference, so I got involved in student orgs, naturally finding myself overcommitting. I quickly realized that college would be a lot more difficult than I had anticipated. I struggled to balance extracurriculars, activism, schoolwork, a skill that I'm still working on today. However, as I continued my college journey, my involvement outside of classes, that's what allowed me to create meaningful relationships and create a sense of community within CSU. I found my home away from home within the Warner College, the Native American Cultural Center, and all the student orgs I was a part of. It was these communities that would stand by me in the most trying of times. In the spring of 2017, I lost one of my closest friends, Cody Oster. Cody was also a CSU graduate. He served in the Peace Corps in Panama, where he unexpectedly passed away. His death devastated me. I had never lost someone that close to me before. His death forced me to be a lot stronger than I could have ever anticipated. It made me realize that there are things that we can never explain. It just didn't make sense, and it didn't seem fair. And I know I couldn't have made it through such a difficult time in my life without my family, my friends, and the Warner community. College can be challenging for many reasons, and yet we find a way to overcome. One of those constant challenges that I know many of us face are financial hardships. Excluding my first year at my first semester, I've always worked on top of being a student. At one point, I was a full-time student working 3 jobs. I realized how unsustainable that was, and I was forced to take a couple of semesters as a part-time student. I realized that that was the only way I would be able to afford college. My friends, my mentors, my CSU community reminded me that it was all right, that it was not a failure, simply because I wasn't following the traditional college path. As I came to terms with the sacrifices I would need to make to graduate, I endured my biggest challenge yet. Last fall, as I entered what I thought would be the last year of college, I was a victim of a hit-and-run accident while riding my bicycle. On the first week of classes, on Thursday, August 23rd at 6 a.m., as I was riding my bike to work, I was hit from behind by a vehicle that had swerved into the bike lane. My femur broke in 10 pieces, my hip was fractured, my arm and leg required reconstruction, and despite wearing a helmet, I suffered a concussion. My accident resulted in 5 emergency surgeries over a period of 2 weeks. I was hospitalized for a month, underwent intense rehab and physical therapy for over 6 months, and I was forced to leave my studies for the semester. It was a long and painful road to recovery, but through it all, I discovered so much: my inner strength, my ability to endure so much uncertainty and pain, and my ability to maintain my optimism, even in the most trying of times. I got to witness so much goodness and so much generosity that it was impossible not to stay optimistic and hopeful, even under those circumstances. The person responsible for my accident was never found, so the economic burden fell on my family and I. I felt so guilty that without wanting to, I had put my family under so much financial stress. But thankfully, the CSU community was there for me. A GoFundMe was started by the NAC office to help me pay for my medical expenses. But aside from the financial support, I have had so many people come and offer moral and emotional support, and for that, I will always be thankful. Even Warner students, who I had only had in a couple of classes, and we never really talked much, stopped by the hospital to pay their condolences, to encourage me, give treats, letters, and keep my hopes up. And that's the kind of people that the Warner College is made up of. Warner truly is a unique community on this campus, full of such caring and passionate people. By spring semester, I was back in classes. This experience reinforced my belief that despite all the hardships that life might throw our way, there is still so much good and so much beauty in the world, and that will always be worth fighting for. I learned that hope is always worth holding on to. So many kind souls, both friends and family, as well as complete strangers, came together to help me heal, keep my hopes up, and get me through such a difficult time in my life. Today, I am back hiking, I'm back on my bike, I'm climbing, I'm doing all the things I love, things that I thought I might never be able to do again. Thank you to everyone who helped and encouraged me through this journey, especially my family and friends. I will forever be grateful. And today, I am more determined than ever to choose the paths in life that truly call to me. Let us all commit to leading lives that fulfill our dreams and our passions. We only have this one life. Let's make it worth living. Events like my accident and the unexpected death of my friend were really tough reminders of just how precious and fleeting life truly is. Don't forget to take a moment today to reflect on everything that we have overcome. Today is a celebration, and our presence here is an embodiment and a message to future students of the power of resiliency, hope, and empowerment moving forward. College graduation is a manifestation of our resiliency and our strength and our hope for the future, as well as our love for our fellow human beings and the earth. Our belief that higher education will make us better equipped to create the positive change we want to see in the world unites us. Let's hold on to that today and wherever we may go. Thank you.
Thank you, Griselda, for that wonderful and moving address, well delivered. Now I would like to recognize our University Honor students and Honor Society initiates. The candidates for University Honor Scholar and Discipline Honor Scholar must complete a program of academic excellence, which includes honors seminars, honors courses in the major, and a senior honors thesis, while achieving at least a 3.5 cumulative grade point average. These scholars candidates are wearing green regalia, and those with gold cords are also candidates for graduation with Latin distinction. This semester, we have 6 graduates from the University Honors Program. Will you please stand and remain standing as your name is called? Madison Norton, Aaron Provencio, Elizabeth Ann Thompson from the Department of Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology, Olivia Bruce, Alicia Guler, and Emily Sinkelar from the Human Dimensions of Natural Resources Program. Congratulations. Now we will recognize our candidates for distinction for fall 2019. These graduates symbolize the academic achievements of approximately the upper 10% of today's degree recipients. Under the policy of Colorado State University's Faculty Council, candidates for distinction are determined as follows. Those with designation of summa cum laude constitute the upper approximately 1% of the class. Those designated magna cum laude constitute approximately the next 3% of the class, and those designated cum laude constitute approximately the next 6% of the class. Those students who have been nominated to these 3 distinctions are wearing gold robes or green robes with gold cords and will be identified separately as they receive their diplomas. Please now stand as a group and be recognized. Additionally, scholastic achievement and professional potential are recognized by various honor societies. Select members of the 2019 graduating class have been recognized for their achievements through initiation into Xi Sigma Pi. Xi Sigma Pi is the only national honor society which recognizes students in forestry and all natural resource areas. Students who have maintained excellent academic records and who exhibit outstanding potential for success in their specific professional areas are invited to membership. You will recognize these graduates by their green, white, and gold stoles. Would the initiates of Psi Sigma Chi please stand and be recognized? Congratulations. Our master's and PhD graduates officially received their degrees Friday in a separate ceremony, but we want to say a special congratulations to those graduates. At this time, I would like to invite Major John Parker, Assistant Professor of Military Science and Executive Officer of the Colorado State University Army ROTC, to the podium to recognize our commissioned graduate.
On behalf of the Army Reserve Officer Training Corps Ram Battalion here at Colorado State University, I'm deeply honored to share in your commencement ceremony today. I'd like to extend my congratulations to each graduate of the Warner College of Natural Resources on your outstanding accomplishments, and I wish each of you the best in your future endeavors. I'm especially honored to be able to introduce to you one of our nation's newest military officers. Yesterday morning, he took an oath to protect and defend our nation and was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Army. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to introduce to you Second Lieutenant Keegan Parker. Lieutenant Parker will serve first as an armor officer and will complete his basic officer course at Fort Benning, Georgia, After 4 years, he will then transition into the military intelligence branch. Lieutenant Parker, my congratulations on your accomplishments, and I wish you the best of luck as you begin your military career.
Now I'll invite President Joyce McConnell to come forward and share remarks for the college and confer the degrees.
Good afternoon, everyone. Congratulations to the graduates. You all look so beautiful, and you have no idea. When I look out at you, what I see are just amazing people who are going to do amazing things. I want to welcome the family and friends of those of you who are here, and you have put so much hard work to honor our students and to get them to where they are. Thank you, graduates, for everything you have done. You have worked hard. I know that it has been bumpy at times for some of you and wonderful at other times. I hope the wonderful outpaced the difficult. I know how meaningful it is to have the people you care about and who care about you on hand to celebrate this important day. I had that opportunity to thank my family at my investiture as the 15th president, and I can't tell you what it meant to stand at a podium like this and to thank the people who have loved me and lifted me my entire life. I hope you will take this opportunity to do that for the friends and family and spouses and partners and children who have been there for you every day. I also want to recognize and commend the faculty and staff of the Warner College of Natural Resources, especially Dean John Hayes and Associate Deans Rich Conant and Mark Paschke. I know all of you have not only been teachers, but mentors, counselors, allies, and friends during the academic journeys that culminate today. And I also want to tell you that I am a member of the Warner College. I am a faculty member in the human, I was going to say dynamics, and I knew it was wrong, human dimensions of natural resources. I want to thank the faculty for embracing me and allowing me the privilege to be your colleague. And thank you to Griselda Landaposas for your remarks and for sharing your story. It means so much to me to share this platform with you, and also to you, Marley. As members of Colorado State University's Fall 2019 graduating class, you receive your degree during CSU's sesquicentennial year, or what we've been more casually referring to as our 150th birthday. This date means that your achievements open a new chapter in our long, proud history. You are graduating from one of the largest and most comprehensive natural resource colleges in the nation, one committed to educating innovators, improving people's lives, protecting our environment, and addressing some of our world's most complex and perplexing challenges. Whatever your focus, ecosystem science and sustainability, fish, wildlife, and conservation biology, forest and rangeland stewardship, geosciences, or the human dimensions of natural resources, we need you. We need you now more than we ever have. Our world is going to be better because of all of you. You have acquired experience that will set you apart as stewards of our natural world in diverse and complex ecosystems, in laboratories, fisheries, natural resources, agencies, and NGOs, in forests, on farms, and rangelands, doing critical field work in geology and hydrology, or exploring the human dimensions of our natural environment. And I know you'll do that work with love, with compassion, a sense of humor and optimism, and a belief of power of community. Things all of you have experienced here in the Warner College and as part of the CSU family. As you transition from college to career, you'll also discover that your learning isn't coming to an end. As you heard, it's commencing. In many ways, this is a beginning, a new beginning. A rapidly changing world means the size and scope and significance of the challenges you will face will continue to evolve. So I have a charge for you today. Whatever you do next, wherever your journey takes you, do one thing for me, one thing for CSU, one thing for yourself and your families. Own your brilliance. Each of you will remain a valued member of the larger CSU community, one of the brilliant minds and great hearts that extend across our nation and around the world. Today, more than ever, our world needs your brilliance and your great hearts. Our CSU community has a powerful, shining, bold spirit, one of hope and optimism that will not be dimmed by those challenges, by adversity. You will make a difference. For 150 years, our community has endured, growing brighter and stronger, and you will be part of that. So let's own our brilliance, your brilliance, the brilliance of the university, and shine together today, tomorrow, and far into the future. I can't wait to see where your journeys take you and how your CSU education will help change the world. And you must promise to keep in touch with us and let us know all of the wonderful things you bring to the world. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Governors of the Colorado State University System, I hereby confer the Bachelor of Science degree on each of you, together with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Let us all recognize the achievements of this amazing, brilliant class. On behalf of the entire CSU community, congratulations.
Thank you, President McConnell. Would Department Marshals please now escort the graduates to the front of the stage to receive their diplomas? And would President McConnell, Dean Hayes, and Dr. Moore please come forward to congratulate our graduates? What's that? You're right, John's over here.
The Department of Ecosystem Science and Sustainability. John Moore is present. Kevin Edward Young. Julia May Young, Watershed Science. Nicholas James Monheiser, Ecosystem Science and Sustainability. Ryan A. McEllier, Ecosystem Science and Sustainability. Nathaniel James Madison, Ecosystem Science and Sustainability. John A. McGinnis, Ecosystem Science and Sustainability. Seth Allen Clark, Ecosystem Science and Sustainability. Keegan R. Parker, Ecosystem Science and Sustainability. Joshua Adam Kirschner, Ecosystem Science and Sustainability. Tamara Elizabeth Breidenbach, Ecosystem Science and Sustainability, cum laude. Juliet Amy Seibel, Ecosystem Science and Sustainability, cum laude. Charles McCain Francis, Ecosystem Science and Sustainability. Paul Gadecki, Ecosystem Science and Sustainability. Kevin A. Winjet, Ecosystem Science and Sustainability. Connor E. Anderson, Ecosystem Science and Sustainability. Ryan Alec Johnson, Ecosystem Science and Sustainability. Now the Department of Geosciences. Rick Astor, please come forward to help out. Andrew Klotz, Geology. Ryan Scott Gilbert Forey, Geology. Kayla Marie Collins Rexer, Geology. Candace Mary Witten, Geology. Amanda E. Greenwalt, Geology. Charles W. Grunberg, Geology. Philip Chase Winters, Geology. Now the Department of Forest and Rangeland Stewardship. Will Linda Nagel please come forward? Thomas Charles Touchstone, Fire and Emergency Services Administration. Charles L. Coyle, Fire and Emergency Services Administration. Michael J. Berkwin, Fire and Emergency Services Administration. Michael Gordon Allison III, Fire and Emergency Services Administration. Wesley T. Ford, Forestry. Paul Matthew Gillette, Forestry. Warren Bohannon, Forestry. Dustin Allen Palashik, Forestry. Timothy Daniel Horst, Forestry. Lillian Marie Maya, Forestry and Fire Science. Peter John Statz Jr., Forestry. Rachel O'Neill, Forestry. Farron Grace Claby, Forestry. Paige Kathleen Gentry, Forestry. Eric Robert Fry, Forestry. Jack Tristan Doherty, Forestry. Joshua John Glenn, Natural Resources Management. Uriah Shane Bauer, Natural Resources Management. Lucas Dwayne Engler, Natural Resources Management. Alec McKinney, Natural Resources Management. Kelby Benson Woodard, Natural Resources Management. Amanda Lee James, Natural Resources Management and Range Management. Lawrence A. Caputo, Rangeland Ecology. Kenneth Shane Bush, Forest and Rangeland Stewardship. Marley Puanani Smith, Forestry. Now, the Department of Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology. Will Department Head Catherine Stoner please come up forward? Elizabeth Ann Thompson, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology, cum laude. Connor Timothy Lowndes, Fish, Wild, and Conservation Biology and Ecosystem Science and Sustainability. Charlie Ann Manguso, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Darby Page Bolt, Fish, Wild, and Conservation Biology. Catherine Mills, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Anna Chudko, Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology. Jessica Brooks Silva, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Chandler Blake Theodore Annabelle, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Hannah Dotterwich, Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology. Shaylin Haberman, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Jackson Barrett Wilhelm, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Elena Louise Rentz, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Sabrina Nicole Romeo, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Rachel W. Peterson, Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology. Brent Joseph Wells, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Lindsay Jordan Palmer, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Sandra Marie Hargraves, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. William Matthew Luth, Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology. William J. Everett II, Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology. Erin Michelle Cruchin, Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology. Jacob C. Dickey, Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology. Sarah Jane Powell, Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology. Sydney Waller, Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology. Lizzie Hereford, Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology. Brooke Sierra Iperagueri, Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology. Garrett Prins Malone, Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology. Owen Eric Olson, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Jake R. Mitchell, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Robert Colton Davis, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Ashley Jean Anderson, Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology. Amy Nelson, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Samantha Erin Mahoney. Aaron Randall Provencio, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Kayleen Lenore Anich, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Hope M. Cook, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Griselda Landa Posas, Fish, Wildlife, Conservation Biology. Now, the Department of Human Dimensions of Natural Resources. Will Mike Manfredo please come forward to give off the diplomas? Misty Lee Tatro, Human Dimensions of Natural Resources. Ashley Taylor Daffron, Human Dimensions of Natural Resources, cum laude. Trevor Scott Sandstrom, Human Dimensions of Natural Resources. Ty Owen Betts, Human Dimensions of Natural Resources, magna cum laude. Matthew L. Connor, Human Dimensions of Natural Resources. Emily Carol Eisenberg, Human Dimensions of Natural Resources. Emily Noel Sincular, Human Dimensions of Natural Resources, magna cum laude. Olivia Grace Bruce, Human Dimensions of Natural Resources, magna cum laude. Gina Marie McCracken, Human Dimensions of Natural Resources. Hunter Lucas, Natural Resources Tourism. Theodore Isaac Evans IV, Natural Resource Tourism. Tyler James Koch, Natural Resources Tourism. Eli Andre Hecker, Natural Resources Tourism. Ryan Rogers, Natural Resources Tourism. Riley Michael Sellinger, Natural Resource Tourism. Lucia Rupert, Natural Resources Tourism. Garrett Allen Johnston, Natural Resource Tourism. Benjamin Prescott Haddad, Natural Resource Tourism. Sophia Catherine Lemon, Natural Resource Tourism. John W. Lovett III, Natural Resource Tourism, magna cum laude. Kenny Bishop, Natural Resource Tourism. Nathan Liam Gish, Natural Resource Tourism. Jillian L. Dobson, Natural Resource Tourism. Cassidy Ann Wynn, Natural Resource Tourism, magna cum laude. Caroline Grace Powell, Natural Resource Tourism. Erica Aline Henry, Natural Resource Tourism. Vittoria Bell Dante, Natural Resource Tourism. Skylar Brandon Smith, Fish Wildlife Conservation Biology. Madison Norton, Fish Wildlife Conservation Biology. Catherine Gray, Fish Wildlife Conservation Biology. Daniela Soto, Fish Wildlife Conservation Biology, cum laude. Samantha Erin Mahoney, Fish Wildlife Conservation Biology.
Graduates, you may now move your tassel from the right side of your cap to the left. Everyone, Please join me in congratulating the Warner graduates of 2019. Now, will alumnus Rob Novak please come forward to address our new alumni?
Well, congratulations, Warner Rams, and welcome to the Warner alumni family. 13 years ago, I was right where you are now, excited, exhausted, and full of swirling emotions around leaving the safety net of being a student and beginning my professional career. I found comfort once I realized I would still have my Warner Ram network out there in the real world, too. We often talk about Warner College's community, and that's an apt description that's sometimes challenging to quantify, but it's there. And that's there because of everyone around you right now, everyone who came before you, and all the students yet to come. And while that was true of the college before you arrived, it's because of you all that that sense of community has continued. Now you can extend that feeling as a part of our community of alumni that extends beyond campus. Being a graduate of Warner College of Natural Resources truly means something in our respective fields. My first job when I graduated was doing public outreach in our local communities at Larimer County's Department of Natural Resources. Easily 2/3 of my coworkers with college degrees came from CSU and the Warner College of Natural Resources. My wider network around the state of Colorado included countless Warner College alums. So, during the inevitable ups and downs in your life and career, keep in mind that we've still got your back, and your classmates and fellow alums will too. You'll meet fellow alumni during your careers that, despite having never met them before, you'll be able to immediately relate to one another and share stories about the atrium, Sherwood Forest, Field Camp, the Mountain Campus, and NR days. Let that be a well of encouragement that you can draw from in tough times and revel in during the good times. Through it all, if you remain a Warner Ram at heart, I know you're going to do great. Not only that, but Colorado State has your back too. We're extremely proud of you and know that you'll go on to find your success. And keep in mind, the best way to stay connected to the university is to join our amazing Alumni Association. The Alumni Association team are some of my favorite people to work with here on campus. They truly love CSU and really do care about our alumni deeply. Based on my experience, I know the pride, excitement, and nerves that you're feeling right now will fuel your future success. Those feelings will evolve over time. They'll deepen, mix with memories, and turn into nostalgia. As that happens, remember that this special place will always be your home. Like the trees in Sherwood Forest, you are rooted here. So enjoy today. You deserve it. Congratulations on a job well done, and I'm proud to be among the first to welcome you to our alumni family. Would Dean Hayes please now return to the podium to provide our closing remarks?
Well, what a great group of students. Amazing grips that most of you have, I must say. It's been a great afternoon, and I know you're all anxious to move on to celebrations with friends and family, so I'll try to be brief. I want to address my closing remarks directly to our new graduates. Thought I might share a personal experience of something that happened with me earlier this year that made me think of you. This summer, I was hiking with my dog up to the top of Arthur's Rock, just a few miles to the west of campus. And as we neared the summit, something quite extraordinary happened. As I hiked up the trail, I was greeted by this. sound I heard was the sound of a peregrine falcon nesting on the cliffs near the top of Arthur's Rock. The sound was actually a bit magical for me. When I was an undergraduate, that species had gone extinct throughout the eastern United States, and populations in the western United States had crashed. When I was an undergraduate, the total number of peregrine falcons in the United States was about a third the number of undergraduates we have in Warner College. The peregrine was placed on the endangered species list. Threats to the species caused by DDT were curtailed, and active breeding and reintroduction programs were implemented. By the turn of the century, the species had rebounded to the point where it was removed from the endangered species list. And this year, you could see and hear the species throughout the country and just a few miles here from campus. The peregrine's recovery is a remarkable story of a conservation success. But the success didn't happen on its own. That success came from the hard work of a dedicated group of people who rolled up their sleeves and went to work to achieve what many thought was unachievable. The recovery of this amazing species, bringing it back from the brink of extinction, is just one example of a positive change I've seen in my lifetime, a change that was created by people who identified a problem, crafted a solution, and went to work and created a better world. And that brings me back to you. You leave CSU at a time when our environment is under assault, a world where the ecosystems that we depend upon to meet our energy needs, for clean water, for clean air, climate control, biodiversity, pollination of our crops, and so many other things are undergoing rapid change. And you leave CSU at a time when the world is filled with challenges and tensions. It's a world that seems to be more and more divided, a world where intolerance and mistrust seem to be on the rise, and a time when the underpinnings of our democracy seem to be under assault. It's a time of racial profiling, and when racial profiling, hate crime, bias incidents, gun violence, and sexual abuse are on the front pages of our newspapers, sometimes in distant places, sometimes in our own community, and sometimes right here on our own campus. In the face of a future filled with such uncertainties, in the face of the significant challenges that lie before us, in the face of the social tensions and divisions that plague our society, it would be easy to feel a sense of despair and pessimism. But pessimism is not what I feel. At CSU and in Warner College, we've tried to give you the knowledge and skills to tackle the challenges and the decisions that you'll face in your future. And we've tried to do this by working together to forge a community that was based and built upon a set of ideals: social justice, integrity, inclusion, service, and respect. And the research that we conduct here at the university continuously seeks deeper understanding and strives to reveal fundamental objective truth. And we've molded our educational programs to share that understanding and those truths with you. Social justice, integrity, inclusion, service, respect, the truth. It's a noble set of principles to build a community and an institution around. And as you move forward on your journeys, I wanted to let you know that my time watching you and interacting with you has left me not with a sense of pessimism, but with a sense of optimism, a sense of confidence in you, and a sense of hope for our future. Confidence that you've gained a solid technical understanding and that you leave here with a quiver of tools that will help you be successful in your careers. And hope that you will follow a path grounded in a strong set of personal values and principles, and that you'll adopt the principles that we've built our community at CSU upon as a foundation for your lives and careers. Confidence that you'll be amongst the people that dig in, roll up your sleeves, and make the world a better place for all of us and for the future generations that inherit the world that you create. And confidence that some of you on your journey will parallel the path of the men and women who brought the peregrine falcon back from the brink of extinction, and that you too will tackle tough problems and find solutions that we'll all benefit from. Hope that you'll go on to be not only stewards of the environment, but stewards of one another and of our society as well. I think Griselda may have said it best. We have only this one life. Let's make it worth living. Let's make it worth living for ourselves, for our fellow human beings across the planet, and for all those that will inherit the world that we leave them with. So as you leave this building today, your new life begins. Go forth, build on the knowledge and the values that you gained and refined during your time here, live successful lives, and make a positive impact on this amazing planet that we live on. Thank you so much for being part of the Warner College of Natural Resources and for all that you have done to make our college an amazing place. We're so proud of you, everything that you are, and all that you will become. Have a great day and keep in touch in the months and years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Hayes. Let us now stand and join Mr. Eric Parizio in singing the Colorado State University alma mater. If you do not have the words memorized, you can find them in today's program.
Hail to thee, our alma mater, Colorado State. Memories are everlasting of this place so great. May thy green and gold unite us, loyal ever be. Colorado State, our alma mater, hail, all hail to thee.
Congratulations again to our graduates, and thank you all for joining us this afternoon. This concludes our ceremony. Please be seated as the platform party, faculty, and graduates exit. Congratulations.
Thank you.